Hello everyone, this is the third part of craft system tutorial, and in this part we will write a logic to finally craft an item. So let's start. Let's open our widgets, and we have two widgets with a button, with resource, and the main widget where everything is located. So let's open the button widget, this one. Select a button and add click event on this button. Let's open a graph. Oops, let's make it variable. Compile, save, open a graph, select it here, and add an event on clicked. Also, I will rename it to then button on clicked. So here, after that, we need to say our main hot widget. In my case, it's main hot widget. That item, some special item was selected. And after that, main hot widget will tell craft component what was selected. So to do that, what we need to create an event dispatcher. So let's create it and call it on item select dispatcher. And it will have an input called item of type as craftable item. And now on click, we just get in this dispatcher and calling it, passing this item that's in our variables. Now let's open back main hot widget here, and in place where we are creating this craft widget in setup craft widget. Here we creating in for each loop this widget, and after that after creating let's also bind um, on item selected dispatcher. Let's type bind, connect this before a child to wrap box, so make it a little bit cleaner. Here it is. And after that, let's create a new function here on craft item selected. And it will go to category craft. And stop craft widget. And let's type here create. Okay, we'll not create it by like this. We'll create it here. So let's type here create event. And it asks us to select a function. But there is no matching function with parameters that this dispatcher has, so let's create a matching function. Here it is, and just move it into craft and rename it on craft item selected. Now let's open craft component and add some function here called craft item, and it will have an input an item to craft item craftable item. And we're gonna call it from on craft item selected. We are getting a craft component and calling craft item and passing item. Now back to craft component. First thing I want to do is I want to close this craft selection widget. So I will get user interface component and call show craft widget with false. That's the first thing. The second thing is I wanna to disable input. So to do that, I'm gonna get player controller. Um, I don't remember exactly how it is called. So let's search for it. Disable, enable input. Oh, it's enable input. Disable, disable input. And target is player controller, like this. So that the player will not be able to open anything and do anything while crafting. Input. Okay, it seems like maybe like set input enabled. No, set enabled. No, set input. Okay, we can set input mode UI only. Maybe this is fine. So that we will be able to cancel craft if we want, for example. Yeah, set input mode to UI only is fine. Like this. Okay, and finally, let's craft. Let's get an item. And break it. Break item row. Get row name. Get data table row with this name. Break as item and connect it here. And here I'm gonna place some animation to play. And here in future I'm gonna add a progress bar, something like something that player will see on the screen about progress of crafting. But now we'll just momentarily create an item and place it into an inventory. Now we have an item and we need, in my case, it's my inventory system in which I can add an item. So I will go to begin play and get component by class, inventory component. I'm not sure which one of them is mine. Hope it is that one. Then I'm getting my inventory component and add item to inventory. Of course, it will differ in your case because everyone has different systems, different ways to work with an inventory. And now I'll place UID and item ID is row name. Quantity is 1. Okay, hide unconnected pins. Item is added to an inventory and let's check it. No, it will not work because we will not be able to open an inventory then to check if it works because we've disabled an input. And now let's enable it back. Let's open and set input mode game only. This. Okay, I forgot which button. Maybe Q button. Okay, I have in my inventory now axe and mallet. And now I will select an axe and I received one more axe. I will select mallet and I received one more mallet, but resources are not taken and we don't have a validation if we even have resources needed to craft that item. But that's a thing for maybe a next video. And now we need to remove some resources from an inventory. So before enabling an input back, Let's make a sequence, by the way, here. Okay, we set input mode UI only, then we add item to an inventory, then we will do something with resources, and the last thing is enabling input back. Now about resources. Here we have an array of resources, so let's just look through them. On sequence 1, I will place it here, and a loop goes here. Something like this. Then for each craft resource here, we will break resource role, and in my inventory component, I should have something like remove from inventory. And I need to provide an item ID. It will be my row name. And the quantity to remove is my amount. So how to write such function is on your side, because everybody has their own inventory system. Now let's try RNX, and if I add some resources, okay, now I have 50 of each resource, and resources are taken. Great. Now let's play some animation. I found some animation in PyKbot one time, and I think that such a healing animation is fine for crafting something. So in my case, I should replace skeleton, by the way, because this animation differs from my skeleton. Then I'm gonna create an anim montage from this and call it anim montage craft anim montage craft. Let's open it. That's how it looks like, and it plays on default slot. And it should start and playing not at 5:56 but at 4:52. Great. Also, I will change blend time from 0.25 to 0.35, 0.35, like this. AM craft, and in craft component, I'm gonna move this all, and everything here will be made when the animation completes working. So I'm gonna get a character, play anim. I need to get a skeleton of a character, right? Play montage. Mon Oh, I think that it cannot be done in function. Let me check. Play montage. Yes, it cannot be done in function. Okay, let's move this function to an event. Right click here, convert function to event. And here is how it looks like. It doesn't work perfectly. Okay, and like this, and this, this. Let's move everything here. Now some pins are placed incorrectly. Let me fix it. Okay. This is placed too low, like this. Here I'm getting character and calling play monta. No, because it is an actor. Of course, it is an actor, and let me delete this and cast to BP main character and change type of a character to BP main character. Change variable type, wait a little bit. Also, it may be only just character, not main character. It can be any character that subclasses from a character, but I've already casted it to mine. Promote variable and call it character. Oh, not promoting, just getting an old character and setting it. Connecting everything back, moving it a little bit, and connecting targets to get components. Now here I'm getting character and play montage. Okay, play any montage. And by the way, why not? It should work. And selecting AM craft. And here, if new game, it will be able to you will be able to increase craft speed. Then you will change your play rate by some variable. In my case, I will just check if it's fine. And no, it's not fit on us. Let's get a skeletal mesh. Get skeletal mesh. Oh, it's called just mesh. And we'll play animation. Oh, montage here. We're doing it on skeletal mesh because we need to know when animation is completed. So like this, and when it is completed, we're gonna do this. Oops, some error. Okay, yes, we need to move this item and connect it directly because we cannot just get it. Okay, this is my third attempt to open craft component. Unreal really don't want me to create this system, and let's it crashes when I'm deleting this item. Could not be found. Maybe if I will just okay, it works. Whew. And connect it back, and here craftable item is gonna be a param that we pass to an event like this, and okay. Now let's compile, and Unreal crashed and it destroyed my event input actions that I've created to open and hide crafting buttons. So I will edit quickly now. Now let's test it. Now I'm opening Q, selecting Iron Axe, and animation is not playing. Animation is not playing, and why this happens? Mesh play. I forgot to select in montage to play. In montage craft. Let's start it again. Q, Iron Axe. I cannot move anything, and now I can. Okay, for some reason it didn't add it to my inventory. That's because I forgot to connect row name with add items to inventory item ID. And also I would like to increase this animation, maybe 1.5 play rate. Let's select Q, and now I received an axe. Okay, now let's validate if we can build this item, by the way. And I'm not sure if I should do it here, or maybe, yes, for sure I want my widget to display if an item can be built or not. So let's add an open component, user interface component, widgets, crafting widget. And here we're passing our as craft item. And let's open craft component and add a function called can build item. And an input will be item as craftable item. And here we're gonna break an item, break item row. No, we don't need to break item row. We need only resources like this. Then for each of resources, we gonna break each resource row, and check if inventory contains this item. No, maybe it has items. Let me open inventory component and see what I have there. Inventory component. Find item. I have find item, and okay, I have function called find item, passing item ID here, and if it is not found, we're gonna create a local variable called local resources missing, and it will be as craftable as craftable no as resource craft as craft resource, and it will be an array. Why I need this? um, I need I want also to display in my widget which resources are missing with a red color. For example, if my item requires branch, stone, and log, and I'm missing only stones, button will not be available, but stone in resources list will be colored with a red color, so the player will be able to see what he's missing, and will not need to find out it by himself. So if it is not found, then I'm getting local resources missing and adding this craft resource here. This is if false. If true, then we're just continuing. Like this. If true, then we just continue. And we are returning return node this array get and connect it here and call missing resources. And now every time we gonna click on our button and show our widget, we not only show it and or not in the craft place, we will also tell No, that's not a good case. We'll not do it like this. Let's open VB main hot widget on which we displaying our buttons and on which we are creating craft widget. Here we are creating it, and on create craft item we need to pass one more parameter. We need to create a variable and call missing resources, and it will be as craft resource array, and it will be instance editable and exposed on spawn. And in main hot widget, in place where we are creating this widget, let's refresh node so that we will see missing resources node. So now here, every time we create such a button, we will need to pass an array of resources that are missing. So let's get the craft component here and get can build item function, or let's call it normally. Let's I get missing resources for item and make it pure function. Let's open back main hot widget and get missing resources for item. Then pass an item here and pass missing resources here. Great. Now let's close main hot widget and open craft item here. Now what we need to disable button so that we will not be able to click on it if resources are missing. Let's check how it looks like. I think that we should have a field like enabled is focusable false, true, enabled, disabled. Okay, it looks the same, by the way. So we will change its color and opacity. On pre-construct, let's get missing resources, check if they are is empty, and select on this boolean. We're selecting and setting, we're getting a button, set enabled. So if they are empty, then the button should be enabled. On true, true, on false, false. We don't need select for this, we need select for the next part. And we're getting a button and set render opacity. And we need to select render opacity. Disconnect this. If it's empty, it is enabled. And then we're selecting an opacity. If it is empty, an opacity will be 1. If it is not empty and some resource is missing, then its opacity will be 0 and 5. Now, my buttons should look something like this. Maybe 0.5 is too much. Maybe let's make it 0.8. And we need to mark some resources with a red color. So here we're creating an item resource widget. Let's open it and add a new variable called is missing. Make it instance editable and expose on spawn. Back to craft item, refresh this node, and we need to provide if this one resource is missing. So let's check missing resources. Contains item. If it contains item for which we are creating this widget, then it is missing. In other case, it's not. That's all. Now let's open craft item resource, and here we should change get a text color and set color and opacity, I think. And what is it? It's structure. Let me check if I'm correct. Color and opacity. Okay. Event graph. Make color and opacity. Specified color will be, we will select color based on is missing. So we're getting is missing, selecting on this boolean, and this goes into color. So if it is missing, then color will be red, and if not, it will be white. So now let's check it again. Okay, resources are marked, and for example, let's find 2 branches. Okay, I will go here, collect 5 branches. I've collected 5 branches, and now let's open it back. And unfortunately, I have 5 branches. Yes, stone is marked with red because it is missing, but branch is marked as white, even if its amount is incorrect. So something is wrong in craft component. Let's go back to function get missing resources for item. Okay, we are checking if this item exists in inventory, but we are not checking an amount. So if it is found and let's break an item and it has property quantity in my case, and its quantity greater or equal than let me move this right to the right, and then this amount, then the needed amount to craft. So like this, and this goes to end, and this goes to boolean. Now let's check it again. Here I have 1 branch, I have 1 queue, and everything is marked red. I don't need a stone. I need to collect 3 branches. Second one, and one more, just one more. Here it is. Now we have 3 branches, and as we can see, it's enough for iron axe, but not enough for wooden mold, and it's shown to a user that he needs more branches, and for example, in case of an iron axe, that he needs 2 more stones to craft a stone. So if I will be able to find 2 stones, then we will be able to finally build an axe. And as I can see, my stamina drain is too big. Oh, here I found 1 more stone. And now we are able to build an iron axe. So now we are building, and we received a second iron axe. Thanks for watching. I think that tutorial can be finished on this place. So every other thing that should be done here is maybe changing the design, changing the way you are showing the user how to show this. It's just a template design. I'm not gonna leave it into my game also. And you may also open such window when you interact with, for example, some workbenches and just pass in num value that it's not a base craft but workbench value. So I think that main things are done, and if you think that I'm missing something, feel free to write me in comments. Goodbye.